What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today it's time to have a look at the release schedule for the One Piece trading card game. We need to see what's coming out, and we need to see what we need to be excited about. Of course, OPO 7 has recently released. We don't need to talk any more about that. That set is out, it is on shelves. I hope you've all been successful in tracking down everything you want to track down from that particular set. That is not what we're going to be focused on today, because that's happened. We're going to be looking forward, and the next thing which is going to be coming out is on the 16th of August when we get Starter Deck 14 3D2Y. That is, of course, the time skip starter deck, if you will. And this is, well, it's a bit weird. It's a regular starter deck. We don't get many regular starter decks, it seems, anymore. It is one starter deck, and it's regular price, and there's nothing that different. We got a Luffy leader. Now, the Luffy leader is the one whereby Don X1, all of your characters gain cost +1, and then if you got an 8 cost or higher character on the board, you gain 1,000 power. There's the new mechanic coming in here, whereby we are increasing costs and gaining advantages from it. Now, the super rares here are your Sanji and your Nami, and it is very much a Black Straw Hat Crew kind of deck. Decent deck, very standard. It's weird that it's weird, if that makes any sense, but there's no deck box, no multiple leaders, no multiple decks all released at the same time. It's just one starter deck, and we move on with our lives, which is kind of cool. Now, after that, we can flick forward to sometime in August, where we get the treasure booster. Now, the treasure booster is something that we're still a little bit unsure about, but it sounds awesome. Now, what we know, and this is one of those ones that didn't get shown off at distributors, we only know about it from the website, but it's coming in August, and we basically get just a selection of previously released booster packs. We don't know exactly what it is in terms of which booster packs, which configurations, etc. But it seems to be OPO 1 to OPO 5, and I'm going to buy a bunch of these just because it sounds like fun. Don't know a huge amount about this one yet, still a lot of questions, but it's coming in August. But then in September, the 13th of September, we get OPO 8 2 Legends, which is a set, of course, that's been released in Japan, so we basically know everything. Although, usual deal, the release dates I'm giving you here are unconfirmed. We know that the month is correct, it is definitely coming out in September, but we don't have confirmation of the actual date yet. None of them have been put up on the official website, but we've got distributor dates which are very likely to be real, but not 100% confirmed. We also don't have English images of booster packs or cards or anything, so we're using Japanese, but we know they're basically going to be the same. An OPO 8 is a pretty standard set. It's not one which is particularly out there and special in a lot of regards, but there's a lot of cool stuff to like about OPO 8. Your secret rares are Raleigh, who, to be fair, isn't seeing a lot of play, and Kaido and Big Mum, which isn't actually seeing a huge amount of play. We're going back to the OPO 5 style of special rares, and we got ones like Charlotte Pudding, for instance, and Jewelry Bonnie, and as far as I'm concerned, the best one, Tashigi. I do think the special rares here are particularly special. The manga rare is also Rally, which is one of the worst manga rares we've had value-wise. It's not one a lot of people are getting terribly excited about. The special rares here are really big. But the leaders are cool. We're back to the OPO 6 style, which is to say manga heads but drawn with new artists. And we've got Tony Chopper. We've got Marco, that I thought looked really good, but is not seeing as much play as I thought it was gonna. We've got Carrot. We've got ourselves Charlotte Pudding, which I think is going to be great down the line. We've got King, which is seeing a bit of play and success. And then we've got Calgara, who, again, is not seeing a huge amount of play. Love the design of them, but it's older leaders that are currently being really good in Japan. But some of the cards that are coming out in this set are very, very big. Obviously, the big one here is Black Maria. It's got that skill that puts out 5 extra Don, and then at the end of the turn, you have to return them to your deck until you've got the same number or less than your opponent. But it's also very much worth pointing out that you've got a bunch of Don minor skills, so you'll often have less than your opponent, so you won't need to put them all back. And we got cards like the new Charlotte Pudding, which give you benefits when you do put Don back. And yeah, purple in OP08 is going a bit crazy. There are some other cool cards in there, but that's the big takeaway. So OP08 coming out in September looks to be a pretty gosh darn cool set. Also on the same day, we've got the sound loaders for Luffy and Enel, and these are basically alternate art leader cards that come in a big card holder that makes sounds. Now, the OP08 Luffy and the OP08 Enel, they're pretty cool. They're completely inessential, but I absolutely love them. I want to know how many people are going to be using these at tournaments and how annoying it's going to get. Now, in October, the 25th of October, we've got starter decks 15 to 20. We are getting 6 starter decks, all being released on the same day, one for each colour, which is going to make things very, very interesting. These are all with reprinted leaders, and there's some reprints, but there's a lot of new cards coming in here as well. So starter deck 15 is your Newgate, your red leader, reprint of the Newgate from OP02, and we've got super rares coming in here of Edward Newgate and Ace. There are a mixture of reprints and new cards in here. We've got a little bit of both going on. Starter deck 16 is your green Uta starter deck, where you do get your green Uta, but you also get a bunch of reprints, including all of those promos that were previously hard to get. And then you get super rares of Uta and Shanks, which I think is pretty cool. But seriously, the fact that we're reprinting all the promos and that is a pretty big deal. Starter deck 17 is your Don Quixote do Flamingo starter deck. Again, we've got a mixture of reprints and new cards coming in here. And we've got super rares of Trafalgar Law and Boa Hancock. They've also reprinted the promo Jinbei, the So-So one, which I think is really cool, just making these harder to get cards easier to get hold of. I think it's wonderful. Starter deck 18 is OP05 Luffy, yes, the same one that came in a sound loader. And we've got reprints coming in here, as well as new cards, including a super rare Zoro Juro and a super rare Monkey Taro. It's cool, I like these. We've also reprinted the promo Luffy, the 10 cost vanilla purple one, which I think is a nice little touch. I like seeing getting some of these promos. Starter deck 19, we've got Smoker being reprinted, and I really desperately want this to make Smoker good. I want that Smoker leader to be viable so badly. Again, we've got some reprints. Again, we got a bunch of new cards, including a super rare Tashigi and a super rare Hina. And then we finish off with starter deck 20, which is your Charlotte Katakuri starter deck, OP03 Katakuri, and that comes with new super rares of Charlotte Katakuri and Charlotte Linlin. The Charlotte Linlin is getting a bit of hype at the moment, so we'll have to see how that shakes out in the long run. After that, we get into November with Premium Booster 01. Now, this is the one where we've actually started to get a lot of information about it over the past few days. And this is, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is the coolest set we've had so far. I love this set. There's only one leader. It is Sanji, and it's going back to full-on manga heads. We've got a manga rare of Nami, which is guaranteed to be ridiculously popular and expensive. We got a bunch of really cool reprints, including some alternate arts of those reprints. We've got things like regular cards as Pirate Flag Hollows, reverse hollows of a Pirate Flag pattern. And we've got 30 new Don cards, all themed after particular characters that come in regular, Hollow Parallel, and gold bordered super parallel. There is so much to love about this set, but getting a bunch of playable cards reprinted, getting a bunch of alternate arts, getting all these done into 3 different versions. I love the Sanji leader that gives one of your characters without an on-play skill rush, and Nami as a manga rare as well. Make no mistake about it, this set is going to be big, and it is the best set we've had so far. Now, after that, our information gets a lot spottier. So, on December the 13th, we are getting ourselves OP09, that is the 4 Emperors. I mentioned this the other day, but it really is worth repeating. That is late. Mid-December is not when you generally release stuff. You release it mid-November to get the most of the holiday sales. But of course, Premium Booster 01 is coming out in November, so they had to do this. And you don't want to leave it till after Christmas for obvious reasons. We know it's being themed after the 4 Emperors. We know it is a 2nd anniversary set, and remember, OP05 was the 1st anniversary set, and that was huge. We don't know what they're doing for this in terms of a 2nd anniversary set, but they've described it as a 2nd anniversary set, and I'm excited. And we do know that we know 4 of the leaders have been revealed. We've got Blackbeard, that turns off on-play skills of yours and your opponents. We've got Lima from One Piece Odyssey, that I'm just not loving at all, really. And then we've got Luffy and Nico Robin, both of whom have a lot of potential. I am personally a very big fan of Nico Robin, who's just got Banish as a static skill, and activate main, trash a card with trigger from your hand, and add a Don card from your Don deck rested. I think Nico Robin could be very, very good. Unfortunately, we don't know about the manga rare, the special rares, and all of that. We don't have that information. And then it seems to be a giant gap, a 3-month gap, after having OP08 in September, and then the new Starter decks in October, the Premium Booster in November, and 4 Emperors in December. We then got a 3-month gap until the 21st of March when we get OP10. Now, it may well be that they're basically ramping up to Christmas, lots of releases on the shelves for Christmas, and then everyone's poor after our releases and Christmas, let's take a break, because people do shop a lot less after Christmas. That might end up being it, but either way, at the moment, we got nothing that I can see scheduled between OP09 and OP10. Maybe there's a mini set coming in there, an EB02. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. For the time being, this is what we've got. An OP10, we got a return to Dressrosa. We've got Punk Hazard with Caesar Clown and Monet. Odyssey is coming back after its spotlight in OP09, and new and existing cards can be combined to build powerful decks. So Dressrosa, Odyssey, Punk Hazard, and Question Mark. We don't know too much about it, and we've already done a video speculating, but that's what we've got for the time being. And that's the release schedule. That's what's coming out. That's what you need to know. So now it's over to you guys. What are you excited about? What are you going to be picking up? What are you going to be skipping? Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.